1 Re 0, First POV. Being reincarnated, or rather transmigrated, isn't something you would expect unless you are a die-hard otaku. That's what happened with me, in a way that I didn't expect. There was no mighty truck-kun who drove towards me while transforming into a giant mecha and yelling, "Get Isekai, bitch." Neither the legendary heaven-splitting chaos-creating thunder strike that transmigrated me to a world where mental maturity is a luxury. I didn't get regressed in time after dying to a betrayal from my friends. Neither did I reincarnate after falling asleep. I just stepped outside of my apartment to buy some mutton for the dinner, and the moment I blinked my eyes I was in the middle of the road. Problem. It isn't the road to the shop, but I found myself in a midst of a fantasy-setting medieval-type world's random street in the random capital you can find in any third-rate isekai. Okay, let's calm myself and think what the fuck went wrong. Suddenly I realized I had two sets of memories. In first I was basically myself, and in second the person, or rather me, was named Natsuki Subaru. I got a chill as I realized what just happened to be. I have just transmigrated as history's one of the most gigachad, mentally sane, and realistic anime protagonist. The problem, I was not a bit ready for what comes next. I looked at the fountain behind me, and sat on the basin taking a deep breath. Fuck it. Who the fuck has the audacity to send me in this shithole of a world? My scream suddenly startled the people around me. Lizard men, demi-humans, or just medieval humans wearing fantasy clothes. People murmured, some glared at me, and other just passed by. I started questioning my life choices. I just had got a job of 40 lakhs p.a. I was literally on cloud 9. I also had a family, an elder brother and a father. Now, I am here in a deep shithole. Should I be happy that I know the plot? So, what now? Staying beside Amelia means dying, and dying again. But not staying by them means abandoning them to their fate. If I weren't there to help their sorry asses, then Amelia will die, children of the village will die, Rem and Ram will die, village will be slaughtered, White Whale will win, Sin archbishops will continue slaughtering people. If I was purely Natsuki Subaru, I may have decided to go on with it. But my other self clearly screamed, fuck no. How the fuck I am supposed to go country destroying threats when possibly the only power I have is return by death, and a witch that is all yandere over me. Not to mention Rosewall has his book of wisdom, and not doing according to his terms means making an enemy out of him for absolutely no other reason than by simply existing. I looked at the ground in despair. I am going to die, aren't I? I muttered to myself. Whatever, if Amelia is to die, it isn't that her spirit daddy is going to let me live. I may very well become collateral damage until the SSS tier protagonist REINHARD slays him. Since that's the case, I will have to just try, till I make it. No lies, I felt bleak about my future, but I hope the Natsuki in me will be able to bear the future. I walked ahead to find an apple, or rather an appa store, or fruit store. Hey kid, wanna buy these appas? I promise they are sweet as sugar. The store owner praised his fruits and I sighed. Sorry, but I am not in mood for some appa, though I will make sure to buy once I pass again. He looked a bit disappointed and then nodded. No need to tell him I am broke as heck. Finally, I arrived by the alley. So this is I said as I looked at the men in front of me. I entered the alley, very well knowing I can die. I just had to make sure I didn't. Hey kid, hand over all the money you have, said the one, probably named Gon or Chin. That's the problem, sir. You see, I am broke as hell. No home, no food, no wife. You will probably earn more if you shift your target to someone else. Don't try to make a fool of us. Hand the stuff in your hand to us, the third one shouted. I charged forward with my fist. Natsuki Subaru's, or rather my current body while being weak by RE0 standard, was athletic by Earth standards. My fist landed on the goon's throat. He gasped for air as he fell back. The second one quickly took out a knife and slashed towards me. I dodged the slashes barely, thanking Natsuki's instincts when a girl with blonde hair landed in front of us. Seeing the goon confused, I charged forward and kicked at his groin. He yelled in pain and I snatched the knife from him. Whatever. You guys continue, Felt said as she jumped and ran away. Now only the last one was left. He looked at me seriously. Yuba. I charged forward with the intent to stab him when someone kicked at my leg, and I fell down. No. I screamed inside my mind desperately. However, it was late. The third one snatched the dropped knife and stabbed me, again and again, again and again. By the time he stopped, life started fading my eyes. Deserved it, bastard, one of them said. The pain was too much. An intense burning sensation filled my body where it was stabbed. What's happening here? She was too late. She arrived late, and I died. Natsuki Subaru was dead. *2, where was I? I had no idea. A dark fog had covered entire place. I had no hands, no legs, no body. All was there my consciousness. Suddenly I heard a whisper in the dark. A chill ran down my spine, even if I had no spine to speak of. I love you, 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 I love you. Like a rhyme it kept repeating. From the dark fog came a figure of the woman. She started coming near me. An intense feeling filled me, as if she was the very meaning of my life, as if I wanted to touch her, I want to kiss her, I wanted to fuck her. Suddenly my mind snapped. She had reached near me, her lips brushed my nape. I looked down to see that I had a body now. Where was I? Shouldn't I have just returned by death now? I love you, 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 I love you. Fuck off, witch, I said, showing the middle finger, and next moment I was again in the middle of the street. What was that? Why the heck I met Witch of Envy? I had no guess, probably a deleted scene from the anime. Wait, Patelgu's got the treatment like this once. What was the name of the place again? So that's how dying feels, huh? This was terrifying. I shivered in desperation. I didn't want to die again. Last time, I made a mistake. Fuck, SATELLAA. Wait, she might be happy if I do. I pause as I realize as my trauma coping mechanism as Subaru has already kicked in. I giggle while some people passing by me look at me weirdly before continuing on their path. This time I should prioritize meeting Amelia, I guess, I thought. So I continued on my way, passing by Appa's store again, stopping just before the alley. Hey bud, if you want to live, hand over all the money you have. Man, here we go again, I thought with a grunt. I remained outside of the alley. Suddenly one took knife and charged towards me. Fuck, can't I catch a break? I thought while dodging and twisting my arm, punching to his cheek. His mouth twisted the other way as I heard a cracking sound. He fell down with his 2 teeth falling from his mouth. I could feel pain in my hand, but the fact his teeth broke was totally unexpected. Isn't Subaru, aka I, supposed to be weak as hell? I thought in disbelief. How the heck he took gone so easily? Bastard. Die. The thieves charged at me. I twisted my body dodging him and kicking him, making him tumble on the ground. The second one punched towards me. I crossed my arms, blocking the punch, then I swung my leg kicking on his cheek, and making him fall on the ground. Wait. Suddenly I heard a voice as the blonde, aka felt, dashed by my left towards the slum while a white-haired half-elf came towards me. Sir. She stopped seeing the 3 people lying in front of the alley, in pain. Well, they tried to mug me, I shrugged. The boy isn't lying, Leah, came out the furry puck, floating around her. I see, sir. Did you saw someone with blonde hair running this way? She asked me. My beginning has already been a bit different than what was supposed to be. I pondered on how should I tackle this. I do in fact, but let me ask, who are you? I am Aya, I mean, you can call me Zero. I gave her a fake name. Last thing I wanted to deal with was gluttony. They probably be my only arch nemesis. The furry cat narrowed his eyes slightly, while Amelia remained unaware for most of the part and instead asked, really? Then can you show me the way she ran off? She has stolen something very important from me. Well, she ran towards the slum. Anyway, what's your name? She seemed to hesitate for a moment before saying, Satella, my name is Satella. I left out a disappointed sigh, and said, it is not good to lie to your benefactor, right? She flinched and made a guilty expression while Puck huffed and moved in front of my face and said with a slight glare, says the man who gave a fake name. I smiled and replied, I have reason for it. You see, it is a safety precaution against witches' cult. Puck frowned, and said, you do speak truth. Still, my daughter has her own circumstances to not disclose her name to strangers. Stop it, Puck. I am sorry, Sir Zero, for lying. My name is Amelia. I felt a bit bad, but I needed to keep my name a secret, so when I eventually fight against gluttony, I can completely invalidate his authority. I can understand. You are a half-elf and world isn't kind to your people. However, I can say with confidence that your race doesn't affect my attitude towards you at all, I said. Well, he speaks the truth. Anyway, Leah, we should continue with our search, now that we have a clue about the thief. Then let me search that thief with you. You see, I am completely broke, so, I hope you can help me. I gave her a reason for why I wanted to help her. Suddenly she flinched and said, actually, I don't have any money either. I looked at her deadpan. Even if I knew about it in advance, it still feels stupid. Whatever, since I have decided to help you, let's go with it. She hesitantly took up my offer to help her. We decided to head towards slum when we found a girl crying in middle of the street. Where are you parents? Did you get separated from them? Asked Amelia. She shrank back in fear, and however after I showed a trick that I learned as Subaru, she finally stopped crying. After some effort we managed to find her mother. To be continued. Another new FIC, and I have stocked like 30 chaps of this FIC. So let's fucking go. 30 comments 0 vote. 2. Old man Rom. Comma. 3rd POV. I am glad that we were able to find her mother. Amelia smiled as she looked at the girl waving to her. Because of her race she was generally disliked and hated by everyone. However, Amelia is a kind-hearted woman and holds no resentment towards others for her treatment. Her wish is to free the frozen elves, and the only way she was told to achieve was by using dragon blood, which she can only use after becoming the ruler of the kingdom. Anyway, we should head to slums now, Subaru said, and she nodded. Soon they were in slums. Broken and dilapidated houses were everywhere. They asked for directions towards Rom's place. Some kids pointed the way for them and soon they reached there. Is it the place? Amelia looked at the wooden bar. As they knocked on the door, someone spoke. Tell me the password. Knock. Knock Rom. Knock knock. That's not the password. The gate opened, revealing a bulky figure, standing at an impressive height if not for his hunchback-like style of walking. He had white strands of hair lining his eyebrow and was bald. Undoubtedly this man was Rom, who looked more scarier than in anime. So, you are old man Rom. I have seen you before but not met you until now, Subaru said. He grunted and looked at both of them. Why are you here? He questioned. Amelia stepped forward, her eyes resolute. I have come here to get my insignia, please return it. The old man Rom grunted and replied, I don't know about any insignia. Well, Amelia, you remember what I told you, right? The person who has stolen it will come here, as this is the place for the dealership. We will wait until then, Subaru said. Amelia nodded, trusting him. They entered the bar. Old Rom sighed and thought, it would seem Felt's latest deal is going to fail. Soon the blonde-haired Felt returned. I am back, old man, wait. What are you doing here? She looked at Amelia with widened eyes. So, you are the one who stole my insignia. You must return it. Amelia spat. Puck came out of the crystal and said, as my daughter said. Return her insignia. Felt took a defensive stance and looked at old man Rom for help, who gave a look. You got in this mess, solve it yourself. He wanted to give her a lesson, however he was prepared to retaliate if things were to go south. Subaru meanwhile was wondering if they should leave with insignia. Now that I think, I should have called REINHARD, right? His face became pale and he cursed at his stupidity. The change in his expression didn't go unnoticed by everyone. Zero, are you okay? Are you feeling sick? Amelia asked him with visible worry. Just as Felt was about to take advantage of the situation and dash out, she heard a voice. My, it seems there are a lot of unwanted guests. Shit, Subaru cursed in his mind. Everyone run. She is the Bowel Hunter. He shouted. His words took a few seconds for them to register before everyone became shocked. Rom's face turned into one of pure horror. Kid, do you know what are you saying? He looked at the Elsa who revealed herself. The woman was a beauty to say the least, with purple eyes with a beauty mark below the left, an enchanting face, a voluptuous figure, while wearing an erotic strapless and backless dress. Even Subaru Natsuki, despite the situation he found himself, couldn't help but gulp his saliva seeing her beauty. No one said she was more beautiful than her anime counterpart. Fuck, something's rising and it is not Shield Hero. Subaru thought as he stepped back. It would seem I was exposed. No worries, I have never intended to let any of you live in the first place. She said. Her face turned cold and she attacked. Puck quickly used his ice magic, firing projectiles at Elsa, who took out her 2 daggers and easily shattered the projectiles coming towards her. REINHARD. Sword Saint. Boy with a million divine protections. Odd Laguna's sugar boy. Come on. Save us. Subaru quickly called out REINHARD. However, to his despair, his call went unnoticed by the saint. Elsa meanwhile turned on guard hearing him calling out to the Sword Saint. However, seeing no one coming, she chuckled. It seems no one is going to save you. I wonder, how will your guts feel once I cut through them? Taking the advantage of her seemingly distracted, old man Rom grabbed a chair and smashed at her. Get out of here. However, Elsa simply slashed through the chair and in next second old man Rom's guts were open. The fuck? Get you Felt, he said as he fell down on the floor, into a puddle of blood. No, old man Rom. Felt looked at her grandpa-like figure dying with despair. I will kill you. Felt took out her daggers and charged at Elsa. Her divine protection boosted her speed and within a blink of eyes she was in front of the Bowel Hunter. However, it was useless, as her head separated from her body falling beside old man Ram's body. Amelia became scared at the turn of the events. Subaru meanwhile clenched his fists. Am I supposed to hide behind her? Being a coward. But again, what else I can do? I am weak, I am pathetic. I never wanted to be here. It doesn't matter whether I am here or not, either by choice or not. I need to at least save Amelia. He knew even if he were to die it won't matter, but he didn't know if time was reversed or his actions created a parallel timeline. Since they were going to die, he needed to at least to make sure his death wasn't in vain. Amelia, I will hold her back. You run, he shouted, slowly coming in front of her. No, I cannot leave you to die. Amelia retorted. However, Subaru knew it was futile. Instead he looked at her spirit daddy, Puck. If you don't want your daughter to die, get out of here, and get help. Puck frowned. He knew Subaru was telling the truth. His time was nearing the end. He needed to ensure Leah was safe, by hook or crook. Yes, he is telling for the best. I don't sense any lies or malicious intent, so we should do as he says, he thought. As for whether Zero dies or not, he didn't care. He only cared about his daughter. As long as she was safe the world could be damned. Leah, Zero is telling the truth. We need to leave. Of course not. If we leave him, who is going to save him? Subaru felt moved by her words, however he knew it was the time to speak this emotional dialogue. How rude of you, to ignore me. Elsa chuckled and charged towards them. Amelia, Natsuki or now Zero, pushed her away and soon he felt pain in his guts, literally. Fuck, he looked at the blood leaking from his gut, while Elsa was forced to step back by Amelia's magic attacks. Zero, she screamed in horror. She couldn't bear to see him die, even if they had just met today. Amelia, let's leave. Puck grew in size and grabbed her. Nope, Puck, don't. She tried to deny him. However, he forcefully took her while firing ice projectiles at Elsa, and flew away. He knew he was using a great amount of mana to do this, and had rarely ever done this. However, it was the matter of his daughter's life. Under Zero's despairing eyes they left. Oh disappointing, they left you to die. Elsa chuckled looking one last time at Zero before dashing outside. It hurts. It hurts so much. Why don't I just die real quick? Subaru Natsuki cried. Tears spilled out of his eyes as his life slowly faded away. He wasn't going to lie that he was disappointed that Puck had abandoned him, even if it was for the best. Thus, with torn hope, Natsuki Subaru drew his last breath. Natsuki Subaru died for the second time. Asterisk 4. To be continued. AN. Please check out my other fics if you are new. Also check out my new releases, Is It Wrong to Be an Elf in the Dungeon, and Re-Zero, The Great Sage. 17 comments 0 vote. 3 Can I Kill Her? Comma. Third POV. Back to starting point. Natsuki Subaru's face was pale. He barely held himself from throwing up. Why do I have to die again? He thought with unbridled anger. He wondered if he should have let Amelia die and escaped. This death was more painful than previous one, just because his consciousness lasted longer, his pain lasted longer. Nothing is more painful than dying slowly. A quick death is a mercy. He took a deep breath to calm his raging heart. If I were to follow everything that happened in previous loops then I will die again. The only way out of this situation is REINHARD. He decided Amelia or not. His most important goal was to find Odd Lugana's sugar child and get his help. First, he decided to return to the same alley, his reason being that in the last loop of original timeline, REINHARD appeared there. Oh boys, see what we have got. A new prey. He was again met with the thieves. He quickly yelled, REINHARD. Help me. The 3 thieves froze on their tracks and became defensive. Then they waited for 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, nothing happened. Zero's face became red with anger, wondering if REINHARD has lost all of his divine protections. Trying to bluff your way out of this? Not a chance. One thief took out 2 knives and rushed towards him. Suddenly Zero dodged it, kicked in his legs making him falling. Let's get him. The other 2 tried to attack, but soon they found themselves wailing with pain on the ground, and their knives confiscated. Is it me? Or I am way stronger than before? Of course, I am stronger than before. Subaru thought. As he focused, he could see time slowing down for him. It was a very minute change, however he could notice it. His eyesight too was better, a lot better than before. His hearing was better as well, and if he focuses, he can feel his smelling to be better as well. His strength, his speed, everything about him was better. Is this another cheat? But I am supposed to only have returned by death. He thought with confusion. Suddenly he met with a realization. Yes, as Natsuki Subaru I have returned by death, then this second ability must be because I am Ayan Ghosh. Whether Ayan Ghosh was a past life of Natsuki Subaru, or his souls have merged together to form his current self was questionable. How it happened was again a big question mark. He didn't have much time to debate about it, but now that he thinks it isn't far-fetched that whatever has transmigrated him might have given him another cheat. System. Golden finger. Aladdin's lamp. He thought in his mind, attempting to see if it works. System. He muttered but he got no response. I don't have a system, so my cheat according to everything that has happened till now is getting stronger with each death. All my abilities and senses are increased after my death, he thought. As for how strong he got, or whether this ability was permanent or had any limits, he didn't know. He sighed and muttered, it doesn't matter, I still can't defeat her. My focus should be finding out REINHARD. So, he got into the mission, he started looking around and even asked people about REINHARD. But he got replies like this. Don't know. Why do you think I will know this REINHARD guy? Never seen him before. When he decided to be more specific and asked about REINHARD, who is Sword Saint, he received a look from people, as if he was stupid, and a harsh reply, fuck off. Damn it. I don't get it. Where is REINHARD? Don't tell me he is out of the capital. He said and soon was taken with fear. Then what should I do? How will I defeat Elsa? If I don't stop her, she will kill Amelia and her spirit daddy will kill everyone. Suddenly an answer came to him. Can I kill her? He said to himself. He has grown stronger from his 2 deaths, now that he recalls he could remember himself to much stronger in the first loop as compared to when he had been killed by the thugs. His mouth became dry and he looked at the evening sunset. I don't have much time, let's see if I can do something. He ran towards Old Man Rom's place. Alas, this time due to him searching for REINHARD he was too late, and by the time he arrived he saw 3 corpses lying on the ground and the Bowel Hunter. You have seen this, thus I can only kill you, Elsa said before charging towards him. He narrowly dodged her first attack, taking her by surprise and kicked her, however she swung her dagger and separated his leg from his body. Ag! Natsuki screamed in pain as he fell on the floor, blood leaked out of his amputated leg. Foo-foo, what a delightful scream. I wonder how your gut's color is. She gave a sadistic reply before calmly moving towards him with seductive steps. Please see someone guck. Zero's throat was cut by her dagger and next moment his guts. It hurts. It hurts. Please see. Someone. Save me. He cried in his mind, tears staining his cheek. Elsa licked her lips seeing him slowly dying, a euphoric look appeared in her face. Slowly, life faded from his eyes. Natsuki Subaru has died for the 3rd time. *8. To be continued. A.N. I am going to release short chaps for this FIC, as a FIC is fine as this is meant to savor slowly. Closing parenthesis. 17 comments 0 vote. Download the app for greater interaction. You can chat with me about my writing experience apart from the comments section. Acros_0. Download app now. 4. The sad smile, bonus chap. 3rd POV. Huff huff. Natsuki panted as he returned by death, again. What should I do? Just what should I do? He screamed internally. This time he again died slowly, if not for the fact that his throat was cut open, he would have died even more slowly. He was shaken by it, indeed shaken. Am I not supposed to be traumatized? I just have died 3 times. He thought. He again took a deep breath, and wondered what should he do. He tried to find REINHARD, however, he isn't here. Take help from some other knight. He shook his head. They will eat him alive before helping him. He knew that the current state of Lugunica wasn't good. Last thing he wanted to deal with was sadistic corrupt knights. First things first, let me test if I have gotten stronger, again he thought and headed back to the alley where he is supposed to meet the thugs. Once he approached the alley, he again met the thugs. Oh boy, a lamb walking right into. His words were cut short as Subaru delivered a full-powered punch on his cheek. He spectacularly fell on the ground and coughed blood and some broken teeth. What? The second was about to take his knife when Subaru grabbed both of his hands, and gave him a headbutt. Splurt. Blood shot out of his head as the thug started bleeding heavily while Subaru gritted his teeth in pain. The third thief, seeing his friends being dispatched easily, quickly screamed, "Spare me. I will give you my money." Subaru stopped and grinned just as thief was about to relax. He received a kick on his groin. Crack. His pant was covered with blood and he released a blood-wrenching scream before falling down. Subaru gave his signature mean eyes, before scooping the knives and money from them and then going on his way. Soon he reached Old Man Rom's building and knocked on the door. "Tell the code," he heard from inside. "Bowel Hunter is after you. If you don't want to die, then better let me in." There was silence. Subaru wondered if he would let him in, and then the door opened with Rom on guard holding a spiked club. Better tell me what's your intention, otherwise you won't be making out alive, he threatened Subaru with a cold glare. How about you let me in first? Subaru responded, wondering to himself if he believed the threat or not. Ram grunted and let him in. Once they were seated on the chairs, he said, Felt made deal with the Bowel Hunter to steal the insignia that indicates whether a person is a dragon priestess. Ram's face became pale hearing it and he said, Her client is the infamous Bowel Hunter. Damn brat. I told her it was suspicious when someone was offering 10 holy coins for a mere insignia which shows the dragon priestess. He was enraged, and rightfully so. Felt had gotten them into very big trouble. Subaru couldn't help but share his feelings. If not for the fact that Subaru died several times to save Felt, she would have died a dog's death. I am making an offer, Subaru said, garnering his attention, and then continued. I will give you 20 holy coins. When Felt arrives here, she shall take the money and hand that insignia over to me, and then you two make a run for it, and so do I. Ram frowned and said, I still don't believe you completely, however if you are offering me money, I guess I can believe in you. Subaru chuckled, seeing how money was solving things again. Soon Felt arrived and was surprised by Subaru's presence. Old man, who is he? She asked, curious. However, Ram was in hurry. Listen Felt, that man is offering us 20 royal coins for the insignia, we take it and give him the insignia and quickly make a run for it. Felt realized something was wrong and she quickly asked, why? The client is the Bowel Hunter. I want to yell at you and want to explain everything, however the time is running out. We take 20 holy coins and make a run for it, he said. Felt was shocked. She wanted to question further, however seeing Ram's look she obediently handed the insignia to Subaru, who gave her the money. She checked it with relief and he nodded. Very well, I shall leave. If I wait here any longer I fear she will be here. He quickly put the insignia in his pocket and left. He didn't care anymore what happened to Felt or Ram. His priority was to find Amelia and get out of the slums. As he walking, he saw a familiar figure and his eyes widened. Damn it. It's Elsa. She moved her hips seductively as she walked, however it wasn't attractive at all, rather he felt fear. He tried to act normally and walk away. As he passed by her, he sighed in relief. Stop. Suddenly he heard her voice and froze. She turned around and so did he, and he asked nervously, Do you want something, miss? How interesting. I sense fear from you. But it's the first time I am meeting you, so care to enlighten me? She asked with curiosity. A beautiful smile formed on her seductive lips. You see, I have a bad history with beautiful women, so I can't help but fear you, Subaru replied. His brain worked faster, and he felt smarter and felt that the reply was best. Even in this pressure someone managed to utter a good reply. Is that so? What an interesting man you are. Whatever, I have something to do, she said, deciding to ignore him. As relief took over Natsuki and he turned around, his face turned pale, he saw Amelia. Sir, have you seen a blonde girl? She had stolen my insignia, Amelia said, looking at him. Then seeing his face pale, she misunderstood it as the fact he was fearful because of her. Sorry, I won't disturb you. She bowed and decided to walk towards the place where some kids have guided her towards. Wait a minute, an insignia you say? Elsa turned around and looked at Elsa, whose eyes lit up and she nodded, yes. An insignia. That girl has stolen it from me. Elsa calmly took out her daggers intending to finish her, when Puck came out of the crystal and said, Careful, Leah. That woman wants to kill us. Kill us? Why? Amelia asked, distraught. She wondered if it was due to her appearance. I don't know and neither I care. She wants to hurt you. She will have to go through me. Puck said. Subaru meanwhile was in dilemma. In the end he gave up. Leave it. Puck's time is soon going to be over. He probably won't return till daytime. I can escape, he thought and started running away. However he heard footsteps following him. He looked back to find it to be Elsa's. Why? He screamed in despair. Since I have no choice but to fight. He turned around and took out his 2 knives. My wanting to fight with me. With 2 knives as well. Elsa licked her lips. She swung her dagger. Natsuki dodged, then again, and again. Elsa became surprised seeing him dodging her attacks, even if it was casual ones. It seems you are not half bad. I need to get serious, it seems, Elsa said, and her movements became a blur. Subaru could barely see her, and formed a cross with his hands only for them to be cut off. Next moments his guts were split open and he was drowning in his own puddle of blood. Amelia, he muttered and looked to find Puck grabbing Amelia and flying away despite her protests. He smiled, it was a sad smile. Yes, what did I expect? To her, I have never met her and I also ran away like a coward, he thought. But soon his thoughts took a turn. But is it wrong to not want to die? It hurts, he thought as his life slowly faded away. Natsuki Subaru has died for the 4th time. Asterisk 16. To be continued. AN. I am giving a bonus chap. However, I want all of you to send your power stones to the FIC. Is it wrong to be an elf in another world? As long as that FIC stays in top 30, I will upload 2 chaps daily. I will also upload the chap of My the Demon God in Marvel shortly. Only by uniting our efforts we can beat also those translators. 28 comments 0 vote. 5 Reina Van Astria. AN. A portion of this chap was missing, so I had to delete this and re-upload it. ... Third POV. You disappoint me, Reina, a voice cut through her heart. Wilhelm looked down at her granddaughter with wrath and hated, he slapped her. Reina looked in disbelief, a seething pain embraced her cheek. Her tears threatened to pour down. You monster. To steal your own grandmother's blessing. You killed her. You killed my Teresia. You vile demon spawn. Hearing the hurtful words spat by her grandfather, she stood alone. She looked around for comfort, for help. But all she was met with accusing glares, disappointed looks. She looked on the ground, her eyes devoid of light. Never show your face to me again. Wilhelm said one last time before turning around and leaving. She fell on the ground breaking into a crying mess, however her tears were ignored, her pleas were ignored. She was blamed for stealing her grandma's blessings in the middle of the battle against White Whale. From that day onwards her relationship with her family deteriorated. You defeated me, so easily, Heinkel looked at her in disbelief. Reina nodded, having accomplished something that she only dreamed of, looked at her father with eager eyes, wanting his praise, but all she got was a curse. You monster. She froze, wondering if she had heard it wrong. She looked at her father to see him looking with hatred, she trembled and fear took over her. Why? She asked. Her heart was unable to bear his look. Why you ask? Why you ask, you filthy monster? He screamed, his voice stunned her, tears started pouring out of her eyes. He slapped her, however instead of her falling on the ground it was his hand which was hurt. You monster. You took away something that belonged to me. I was supposed to get the blessing. I was. Then because of you, my mother died. I doubt if it was because of you my wife got in coma as well. He spat, his every word cut through her and she became a sobbing mess. I apologize, please forgive me, she repeated again and again, however her words made Heinkel only colder. He had sparred her after drinking a lot of alcohol, and now in his current state his anger was magnified. He grabbed her by hair, and slapped her, again, and again, and again, until his hand was bleeding. For Reina, each slap broke her heart, even if it barely hurt her. See this. He showed his bleeding palm. You did this, you hurt me. You are but a monster. I regret that you are my daughter. He spat at her and left her alone, she laid on the ground frozen, her father's saliva reeking with alcohol on her face. That day, Reina Van Astria lost her only support. Years passed by, however her relationship with her family only deteriorated, due to Heinkel's and Wilhelm's habits, everyone started assuming it was Reina's fault, whether Teresia died or Luna got the Sleeping Beauty curse. Maids started mocking her at her behind, they snickered and cursed her for all the wrongs she had never done. Because of Reina's blessings, she of course knew what they spoke behind her back. It broke her, she wanted someone to save her, she was but a girl, burdened with responsibilities that were pushed on her. In the end, she became the strongest sword saint of Astria family in entire history. As the child loved by the world, she was granted countless divine protections by Odd Laguna. However, in the end she was but a sword saint, the girl Reina Van Astria, has died somewhere. Her gaze was always polite, however it was a mask, that hid her pain. She didn't have any friends. In the original because of REINHARD, Reina's male counterpart's different personality, he managed to preserve and even managed to get Felix and Julius as his friends. But Reina was a woman, so Felix and Julius being male didn't take the initiative to get close to her, and in the end she was labeled by them as monster as well. Of course they didn't meant harm by that, it was just Reina had a divine protection that granted her healing prowess surpassing Felix's and her strength utterly crushed Julius. Thus, there formed the sad girl known as Reina, who was only respected because she was sword saint. No one loved her for the girl she was, only because she was strongest knight in the kingdom, whose task was to accomplish things for the kingdom, whether good or bad. Today she was on patrol, despite it being her off day. People loved her, only because she was sword saint. No, they just loved the sword saint, the divine protection. The girl named Reina Van Astria was utterly despised by everyone, no one loved her. However, to ensure at least her grandma's legacy isn't soiled, she tried to be the best knight. Thus, she was on patrol. Her face stoic, no one tried to start a conversation with her, why would they? They feared her, and admired her only the sword saint was admired. Every day is the same, she thought. her eyes dull, when she found a black-haired boy in the middle of the road. He was muttering something about dying and getting stronger, while holding a pouch of holy coins. She wondered if he was in trouble, and decided to check it out. "Excuse me, sir, are you in trouble?" she asked him as she reached near him. He turned towards her. A blush formed on his face before he looked away and coughed. Did he just blush? She thought. A spark blossomed in her eyes. "Sorry, miss, I was just in middle of my thoughts anyway. You." He looked at her with some similarity in his eyes. "Reina, my name is Reina and I am a knight," she said. She could deduce from his tongue and his hair that he wasn't from Lugunica, so she introduced herself. "Oh, so Miss Reina, how may I help you?" he said, a visible tint of red in his cheeks. "I found you muttering about dying. If you are in some trouble then let me know. As a knight it is my duty to help people," she said, while involuntarily her divine protections activated. "Help me." He looked in dilemma, and then looked at her and sighed. "I won't lie, I need help," he said, and she nodded, expecting to ask him to help her. "But I refuse your help," he continued, taking her by surprise. "Why?" she asked, curious. Every time she had tried to help someone no one refused her, ever. "I mean, how can I put a girl like you in a danger? As of now my mind is free of guilt, but if I involve you in my shit, nope, I won't put a cute girl like you in danger," he said, and then blushed, realizing the last lines he said. She was stunned, and realized he didn't know her. He didn't know, she was the monster, the sword saint. "Damn it, my Natsuki," Subaru sighed, is too shameless. Natsuki cursed himself. Meanwhile Reina debated if she should tell him the truth. In the end she couldn't. She knew if she told him the truth, he will accept her help, spell out loving words, behind the mask of fear and disgust. "What is your name?" she finally asked. Her eyes with a glint stared at him. "I can't give you my real name. I apologize, I really apologize," he said. Her eyes dimmed and he said, "But you can call me Zero." She nodded and spoke. "Zero, so, Sir Zero." She froze. As she felt a warmth on her head, her heart started pounding. He was patting her, and the moment he realizes, he too froze. "Fuck it, Natsuki Subaru. It's all your fault," he cursed himself. He could feel it. Something was wrong with her. It was as if she had given up the hope of living. His senses were keener, so he quickly realized it and involuntarily started patting her, as to lessen her sorrow. As he tried to withdraw his hands, she grabbed it. Her eyes widened, realizing her mistake, and she quickly let go of him. "I apologize, I don't know what came over me," he apologized. Why did you do that?" she asked, her voice cold. Her froze and wondered if he was going to die again. In the end he spoke the truth. "Well, you are very cute and I sensed you were sad, so I did it," he replied while preparing to regress. I am cute." Reina blinked her eyes innocently. "He didn't call me monster." Joy erupted in her heart. However, it was soon replaced by sorrow. "Of course he doesn't know I am the sword saint. If he knew then he would have feared me." She knew majority of common people feared her because of her position, and the fact that she had been responsible for her grandma's death. "Anyway, I should be on my way. Thank you for trying to help me, however this is something that I must do myself," Subaru said. To be continued. 19 comments 0 vote. 6 becoming Amelia's friend, bonus chap. ... Third POV. "Anyway, I should be on my way. Thank you for trying to help me, however this is something that I must do myself," Subaru said. She nodded and he left, however her heart wasn't at ease. Should I follow him? His words were nothing but genuine even when he called me cute. A blush came on her cheeks. She had heard him saying that he will most probably die if he is going to face her. As for who is her, she didn't know. He said he had gotten stronger and probably can take her on. She realized his life may be in danger, and not wanting him to die, she decided to follow him. Using her divine protection, she became invisible. Then she started walking behind him, following him. Suddenly as he turned to an alley, he ran and quickly turned back towards her while holding a knife. "He found me. Impossible. I am invisible," she thought, surprised. Then she heard, "Weird, I heard someone walking behind me even if minutely, and my gut is screaming that someone is stalking me." Stalking. Now that I think about, she blushed hearing the accusation. However, she realized her mistake. She quickly used her divine protection that cancelled any noise made by her, whether breathing or her footsteps. She then used another divine blessing to make herself odorless, and then used her divine blessing of sixth sense cancellation, which erases any precognition of her by sixth sense. Natsuki thought his enhanced senses might have been playing with his mind, and continued on his way. As he reached slums, he finally encountered Amelia, who seeing him hesitated for a moment before asking, Sir, have you seen a short girl with short blonde hair, ruby eyes and a red scarf?" Are you talking about Felt? Hearing his words, her eyes lit up. She clenched her fists in excitement. She finally got a lead. Yes, I am talking about Felt, Amelia said while smiling like a child who had got his toffee. No, Subaru, don't laugh. Subaru held his laughter back, seeing how easily she believed him, and the fact that the thief was someone named Felt. Well, I can take you where she might be, however I would need a favor, he said, and she hesitated. Actually, I have no money with me, Amelia said, and Subaru gave her a dry look. Well, whatever, I am going there as well, so you can just follow me, he said, and her eyes lit up. Really? It won't be a problem if I follow you? She asked, wondering if he would judge her by her look and race. No problem. I am happy to help a cute girl as you. Natsuki shrugged. While Amelia froze hearing him say cute, Reina felt a tinge of jealousy rise up in her. Why he had to call her cute? She looks like the witch after all. Reina thought with sour mood. When he had said her cute earlier, she was feeling joyful, but for some reason seeing him call another girl cute made her feel angry. Angry at the girl. But then hope rose within her. Despite her appearance as the witch of envy, Satella, he calls her cute, so would he still call me cute, if he knows I am a monster? She thought. Her breath hitched. Then she shook her head. Why, I am thinking of such stuff. It is literally the first time I have met him, but his hands were warm, she thought. She didn't know what was happening to her, but if others were to know that she fell in love simply because some called her cute, they would have been stunned. She didn't receive any love from her parents, everyone treated her as unwanted, her only use was to serve to the kingdom as the sword saint. To the kingdom it didn't matter how she felt, to them all she was a knight that needed to be a loyal dog. To others the feeling of Reina van Astria never mattered, they didn't even realize the fact that in the end she was but a girl. Unfortunately, her noble status made it impossible for commoners to be friend with her, and add the bad rumors about her. You get a girl who is extremely love-deprived, and as Natsuki became the first boy to shower her with warmth, even only a bit. She became what happened to original Natsuki with Amelia, however, it was just a bud yet to blossom. While she was debating with herself, Amelia looked at Subaru surprised. I am a half-elf. Are you speaking the truth or lying? She asked. Suddenly Puck came out of the crystal and said, he wasn't lying, Leah, when he said that you were cute. Hearing his words she blushed. Amelia is Amelia, don't expect her to get falling for Mick when her brain is of a child. However, you cannot get close to my daughter without her father's permission. Puck argued. She doesn't have a friend, right? Asked Subaru, and Puck became surprised. His eyes became cold while Amelia was hurt by his words. So how about I become her first friend? Subaru offered to her. My friend? Really? But I am a half-elf. So, I don't judge people's personality from how they look. To me you are just a cute and lonely girl, who could use a friend like me. Subaru said. Yeah, totally a friend who has to die for her several times, he thought dryly. He speaks truth, Amelia. Puck's expression softened and he nodded as he looked at his daughter. Then, I am Amelia, a half-elf, I would like to be your friend, sir. She stopped realizing she didn't know his name. I cannot tell my name, as it is a precaution against the disgusting witch cult, however you can call me Zero, he said, and she nodded. He stretched his hand towards her, and she grabbed it, he then did a handshake. While Amelia's face lit up, realizing she has made a friend. Puck, I have made a friend. She looked at her self-proclaimed father with innocent eyes, who nodded. Puck knew that Zero had no bad intentions, however he was still on his guard. I just hope you don't make my daughter cry otherwise, his eyes narrowed. Reina meanwhile felt even more jealous, she kicked on the ground angry. I should have been the one to grab his hand. She thought, not realizing how absurd she was being. Anyway, let me show you the way to Old Man Rom's place, that's where we will most probably found Felt and your insignia, he said, and she nodded. I wonder if I will be able to save them this time, he thought and sighed. Amelia followed him to the Old Man Rom's place, they knocked on the door. Tell the code. Knock knock Rom. Knock knock. That's not the code. Old Man Rom opened the door with a grunt. You see, we are here to get something that Felt has stolen, he said, and made way for Amelia, who stepped forward and looked at Rom. I am here to get back my stolen insignia, Amelia said, and stepped inside. Felt, who was inside, became surprised seeing her. It's you. It's you. They both pointed at each other. Amelia said, give me back my insignia. It's mine. I won't. You should have taken a better care of it, miss. I won't give the insignia back. Felt replied, and she took out her knife and took a defensive stance. Old man, you shouldn't have let them in. She grunted, and Rom shrugged. As they argued, a voice cut through their debate. My, it seems you have failed, Elsa said as she stepped inside. Felt's eyes lit up seeing her. I have the insignia as I promised, now give me the 10 holy coins. Amelia too became hostile towards Elsa. I see, so you are the one who wanted my insignia. Tell me why you want my insignia. Subaru meanwhile took out his 2 knives, and without any hesitation charged at her. His movements a blur, he reached in front of her in 1/5 of a second and slashed with his knives. To be continued. A.N. Send all the power stones to my Danmachi FIC, or no updates for any of my FIC. And yes, it is not a request but an order. 13 comments 0 vote. 7 falling in love. ... Third POV. Subaru meanwhile took out his 2 knives, and without any hesitation charged at her. His movements a blur as he reached in front of her in 1/5 of a second and slashed with his knives. Clang. The sound of metal collision sounded as his knives met her daggers. How rude to interrupt me. She swung her daggers only for Natsuki to dodge them. 0. What are you doing? Amelia was taken back by his sudden hostility towards Elsa. He said as he stepped back, idiots. She is the Bowel Hunter. If you want to live, then fight her with me. His words shocked them. Bowel Hunter? No way. Felt said, refusing to believe his words. However, Elsa's next words revealed the truth. It seems I was exposed. I have never seen you before, so how do you know me? Elsa said, amused and curious. Felt and Rom's face became pale. Felt, I told you not to take shady deals. Didn't I? Rom accused her. Old man, how the heck I am supposed to know she is the Bowel Hunter? Felt argued back. Idiots. If we don't take her together, she will kill us. Subaru shouted, shutting them up. Fine. Felt grumbled and Rom quickly ran towards the side, intending to grab his spiked club. Amelia, use your magic, he ordered, and the half-elf, who was in shock, recovered and replied, okay. Hey, don't order my daughter. Puck said as he appeared and launched ice projectiles at Elsa, who dodged with relative ease. Your strength is nothing special, just that of a trained knight. However, your speed is rather unusual. I wonder how your guts will look like. Elsa licked her lips as she eyed Subaru. The fight begins. With Amelia using ice projectiles on Elsa, Felt using her divine protection to boost her speed with wind, and attacking Elsa, Old Man Rom using his spiked clubs, and Subaru trying best to stay alive and not die. However, Elsa easily blocked Rom's club, and kicked him away. His figure flew away like a ragdoll, crashing against the wooden wall, and he was knocked out cold. Rom. Felt screamed seeing her grandpa-like figure crashing against the wall. She gritted her teeth and swung her knives as she reached her. However, Elsa blocked her attack and also Subaru's, who was simultaneously attacking her from left. She kicked Felt away and Subaru stepped back, dodging her attack by a hair's breadth. Your reactions and speed are impressive, despite your meager strength, Elsa commented. Elsa hadn't gone all out, otherwise Subaru and others would have died by now. El Huma. Amelia used her magic, forming multitude of ice spears and shooting them at Elsa, who easily deflected them using her daggers. It seems I should get serious, Elsa said as her expression became cold. She had enough fun tormenting them. Subaru's expression fell as he realized she just toying with her. His body started trembling. Would I have to die again? Just how many times? How many times I have to die so that I can defeat her? He thought with despair, not wanting to die again. Elsa suddenly charged at Subaru, breaking the sound barrier. Subaru could barely react, and just as he was about to die, Elsa's attacks were stopped on her track by bare hands. Huh. Subaru reacted and became surprised seeing the figure in front of him. She had striking long red hair, cascading down her back. She had shimmering blue eyes and a white complexion. Her face was beautiful and cute at the same time. She was none other than Reina van Astria. Oh, who you might be? Elsa asked as she stepped back. Her sixth sense was practically screaming at her to run away. I am Reina, a knight. And I won't let you hurt Sir Zero and his companions, she said, not knowing how unknightly she sounded. Reina. Elsa's eyes widened as she realized it was none other than the Sword Saint. Her grip over the hilt of her daggers became stronger. Reina, what are you doing here? She is Bowel Hunter and extremely dangerous, Subaru said in surprise. Reina looked at him and gave a smile. I am a knight, and it's my duty to protect you. Then she turned towards Elsa, who swung her dagger towards Amelia. Reina quickly intercepted the dagger as Elsa made a run for her life. However, the next moment Reina was behind her and she swung the sword that was still sheathed. Boom. Elsa's spine cracked as she was thrown away like a ragdoll, breaking through the wall of Rom's bar, and through the old houses. Fuck, she said as she coughed blood. Amelia and Subaru were too shocked by the scene. Who is she? She was able to KO the fricking Bowel Hunter. Subaru thought in shock, not recalling any red-haired female knight that powerful from the anime. Miss Reina, I am thankful you are here. Amelia breathed in relief, and so did Puck. Although they haven't met with her before, they knew about the famous Sword Saint. while Reina felt ashamed of her actions. As she was stuck ahem following Subaru, and when the Bowel Hunter appeared, she wondered if she should intervene. However, for some reason, she wanted to come up as a cute girl to Subaru, or rather as charming to him than a monster. So, she used her divine protection, which only signaled her to act when Subaru was in danger, and she heroically saved him. Did I do good? Should I have acted earlier? She thought in her mind. Miss Reina, you should finish Elsa, Subaru said as he recalled that Elsa was a cursed doll. Elsa. Reina tilted her head in confusion. I mean the Bowel Hunter, he said, and she realized. Oh. Don't worry, with that hit she will die for sure, as she said, a figure charged out from the rubble and ran away at immense speed. Quote, comma, quote. Quote, comma, quote. A.N. So embarrassing, she thought while blushing, although she could follow up Elsa. She didn't wanted the fight to escalate to the streets. She sighed in defeat. I failed to make a good impression of me. Meanwhile Natsuki chuckled. Hey, at least I am alive, that's a plus, he thought. Thank you, girl, for saving my daughter. I was worried there for a second as my time is nearly up, Puck said, and she nodded. Amelia too nodded. As one of the royal candidates, I would like to express my gratitude to the Sword Saint. Suddenly Subaru's ears perked. Sword Saint. Reina trembled as she realized that Subaru didn't know her identity till now. Her expression fell. You don't know, Sir Zero. She is the Sword Saint of Lugunica, Reina van Astria. Amelia introduced Reina. Natsuki Subaru was left stunned. He froze on his place as Reina too froze in her place. She looked downwards, her body started trembling with fear. No wonder, he thought, shocked. He finally realized why Reinhardt didn't came to save him in his previous loop when he screamed for his help. No wonder people didn't recognize Reinhardt, as he never existed in this reality. No wonder why people called him to fuck off when he said he was looking for Reinhardt the Sword Saint. Because his boy Reinhardt has been gender-bended into a cute girl. Reinhardt in this world is a chick. However, Reina misunderstood his expression and surprise, thinking he will now hate her, despise her, shun her, just like everyone, and her emotions flooded out. Suddenly he broke free from his daze and looked at panicked expression of Amelia, who was staring at Reina. She is crying. Why? He thought as he looked at the tears falling on the floor. He too panicked, and asked, why are crying? Because you know that I am a monster, she replied. He quickly went and hugged her, taking her by surprise. Never call yourself that, he reprimanded her. She was surprised again and asked, why? I am Monster Sniff, who stole my grandma's sniff blessings. You are no monster, Reina. It is not your fault that your grandmother died. It is the fault of that white whale and the witch cultists. If someone blames you, then they are hypocrite and fools, he said, breaking the hug. His black eyes stared at her blue eyes. Reina van Astria, I thank you for saving my life. You are my hero, not a monster. You are someone important to me. Her heart pounded. Her breath hitched. As if an electric current ran through her body, she froze, her tears stopped pouring out. I am his hero. I am not a monster, she thought, feeling giddy. Joy took over her, immense joy. Her grief, years of abuse, everything was washed away. At this moment only the boy in front of her mattered. Reina van Astria had fallen in love. To be continued. A.N. Boy Riz, the champion of the world itself. Now he has a world-corrupting Yandere, and a world-destroying Yandere in his back. 30 comments, 0 vote. 8 accidental Yandere, bonus chap. Comma. Third POV. Subaru took out his handkerchief and wiped away her tears. There you go, you look more beautiful with a smile than tears staining your cheek, Subaru said. Reina blushed. She felt butterflies in her stomach. For some reason she wanted to stay longer with him. Is this love? She asked herself. The very concept of love had become something foreign to her, but now she could remember it. The joy she felt when her father praised her, the happiness she remembered when her grandfather looked at her with kind eyes, the way her mother tended to her. The way her grandma loved her and cherished her, showering with affection. But then she lost it all. Her mother, her grandmother, her father, her grandfather. She lost them all, and by the people who previously loved her, she was labeled as a monster. While she was going through character development, Amelia remained in the background silent. At first, seeing Reina crying, she was baffled, wondering why she was crying. After all, Reina was the strongest sword saint in history of Lugunica since the first sword saint. She was a literal walking god. Even Puck had said even if he were to fully unleash himself, he will still die by her attacks, probably just a single slash from her blade. What can make such a strong girl cry? Then seeing how Subaru took the initiative to calm her down, she too felt relieved. She also wanted to intervene but decided to remain silent lest she does some mistake. She too had a problem. She wasn't an expert in talking with others, so she didn't want to make the situation worse, and so she let Zero handle it. Damn, stop flirting with each other and help me. Suddenly a voice broke their trance. They looked to find Felt embedded in the wooden wall, her figure hanging on the wall, with only her lower half visible. Let me help you. Amelia came forward, grabbed her body and started pulling her. Stop. Stop. Do you want to kill me? My skin is being grazed by the wooden splinters. Screamed Felt in pain, and Amelia stopped and said, I am sorry. Reina, who had recovered from her sudden traumatic outbreak, decided to help Felt. She came and punched, breaking the wooden wall into splinters. Felt's figure finally became free and she stood forward while bleeding. You are injured. Let me help you with healing magic, Amelia said, and Felt replied, leave it. First let's check old man Ram. Her voice showed worry. Hearing that, Subaru came towards the collapsed table and wall, and saw Ram lying unconscious while bleeding from his forehead. It seems he is bleeding, Amelia. It would seem he needs your healing magic, said Subaru. However, before Amelia can intervene, Reina came beside him. No worries, Sir Zero. I have divine protection of the healing. I can heal him easily. She quickly used her blessing and a golden light erupted from her hands, covering Ram's body, healing him. While Subaru was surprised, since as far as he knew, REINHARD had no such divine protection. He didn't know that despite being gender-bended version of REINHARD, she was actually stronger than him. Seeing Ram being healed, Felt was relieved, and then Reina said, would you like to heal me your injuries as well, Miss Felt? Yes, I will. Wait a minute, how do you know my name? She narrowed her eyes, as she realized if Reina had arrived when they were fighting, then she shouldn't have known her name. Only if she had arrived earlier, she would have known her name, but if she had arrived early, then why she didn't fight? In fact, she only intervened when Zero's life was in danger. It was as if others' life didn't matter to her. It is a divine protection. She lied. She didn't want her image to be spoiled in front of Sir Zero. Meanwhile, Subaru's face became grim, knowing she had a divine protection that can reveal others' name. Reina, can I ask for you something? Asked Subaru. Reina turned towards him and replied, yes. You can ask anything. Can you please not reveal my real name? It is a precaution against witch cult, he said. Sweat rolled down her back. How do I tell? I have lied. Now that I think, if he were to ask his real name, I would have been in trouble, she thought, regretting lying. However, in the end, to save her image, she said, I promise. I won't reveal your name to anyone. Subaru breathed in relief, while Puck said, Yan, I am tired. Leah, you better ask your insignia back and meet up with Ram. Amelia yelped, yes, I almost forgot I came here to get my insignia. Thank you, Puck, for making me remember. Puck nodded and returned to her crystal, while Amelia turned towards Felt, who was being healed by Reina, and asked, Miss Felt, can you return back my insignia? I promise I won't hold you accountable for it. Felt looked at Amelia guilty. You see, forgive me for stealing your insignia. I have stolen it and you still helped and saved my life. Amelia smiled and replied, no worries. In the end, you are returning it, right? Felt nodded and took out the insignia. As she took it out, the gem glowed, surprising Reina, who grabbed her hand. Wait, why are you grabbing my hand? Asked Felt. Reina meanwhile stared at the glowing insignia and thought, no doubt she is the fifth candidate, the one I was ordered to search for. If you look carefully at the insignia, it's glowing. That indicates you are a dragon priestess, she replied. Her words took Felt by surprise. Dragon priestess and me. Subaru took the insignia from Felt's hand and its glow vanished. Indeed, it seems you are correct, Reina. He handed it to Amelia, who once took the insignia, it started glowing again. Wait, it means you are one of the dragon priestess. Felt pointed her finger at Amelia and looked at her with shock, who nodded. And I am as well. She pointed at herself in disbelief. So, what now? I can't believe I am a dragon priestess, me. A gutter rat being one of the candidates for being the next ruler of this country. The notion itself is laughable, she said. Reina replied, if you don't want to join the royal selection, then you don't need to. Her words took everyone, including Subaru, by surprise. Isn't Reina supposed to be a staunch supporter of Felt? I guess it must be because her personality is different from REINHARD. After all, she isn't REINHARD and he never cried, he thought. What do you mean? Asked Felt, wondering if it was because she was gutter rat. I was ordered to find the fifth candidate. However, if Miss Felt doesn't want to join the royal selection, I won't force it, she replied. Reina was just a tool for the kingdom, and after the recent events, she just didn't care about the orders anymore. Someone thought of her more than a tool, more than sword saint. She would rather be by his side than follow the rules made by people who treated her like trash. Felt was conflicted. She didn't know what to do. Suddenly Ram stood up, surprising Felt and Amelia. Old man. Felt cried out and hugged him. Ram patted her back and looked at Reina. Felt, I think this is your chance to do something big and get out of the slums. But I am a gutter rat. How can I hope to run the kingdom and become the next big thing? She asked. Yes, you are. However, this is an opportunity to not change your fate but also others. It on you what you want to do, he said. She got in deep thought, and after a while said, fine, I will become the 5th candidate for royal selection and turn this kingdom upside down. A grin appeared on her face. She looked at Reina and said, my answer is clear. I am taking part in this royal selection thingy. Tisk. Reina clicked her tongue. Her workload had increased. Should I just not follow the orders and let her be? But that will damage my image in front of Lord Zero. She thought. In the end she decided to take her for now, and leave her on her own devices once she officially becomes the 5th candidate. Now that I think, I am currently homeless, and I need somewhere to stay over, he said. Reina's eyes lit up and she quickly said, how about it, sir? No. Lord Zero, how about you stay over my mansion? I promise to give you the best treatment, and if you want, you can be my permanent guest. She continued. Subaru hesitated. Damn, if I were to go with Reina, I will be 100 times safer than with Amelia. I am pretty sure that blue-haired Oni will kill me, and that Stockholm-affected red Oni is no good news as well. However, he knew, if he left them to their fate, it might affect the development of the world badly. Ram will most probably die to the curse. Secondly, who knows what Roswell will cook? He absolutely cannot let that guy cook. Otherwise, he will be cooked. He sighed and said, I apologize, Miss Reina, but I think I will pass on your offer. Since I have helped Miss Amelia, it is her job to have me as guest, right? Indeed. I am also sure Roswell will reward you for helping me. You protected me after all. Amelia said with a smile. While Reina's face fell, she wanted to be close to him all the time. Should I secretly follow him? She wondered. However, Subaru's next words changed her mind. Also, Miss Reina, I thank you for everything you have done for me. If not for you, I know every one of us would have been dead. You are someone important, Miss Reina, so never belittle yourself, he said with a smile. She blushed, and when Subaru started patting her head, she melted in pure ecstasy. Meanwhile, Subaru sighed. I knew original Reinhardt's backstory was sad, but now that has happened with a girl, I wonder how she had been treated to call herself a monster. What he didn't knew, that he had created a Yandere. To be continued. 16 comments, 0 vote. 9 I want money, a lots of it actually. Comma. Third Pav. Jan, have we arrived? Asked Subaru as he looked outside of the window. On the other side of the carriage were seated Ram and Amelia. Ram was staring at him with unkind eyes. What's with that look? You are staring me as if I have killed your pet, he scoffed. Taking advantage of Miss Amelia's plight and then shamelessly taking credit of saving her. I guess your name Zero does suit you, she replied. Says the girl who lost the person whom she is supposed to look after and then let her nearly be killed by Bowel Hunter, he replied sarcastically. Ram's eyes narrowed and she glared at him. Not to be outdone, he too glared at her. Original Subaru might be simp for Amelia and with low self-esteem to bear Ram's insults. He isn't. The carriage suddenly came to an halt. Suddenly Amelia yawned and woke up from her sleep. Have we arrived? Ram opened the door and said, Yes, Miss Amelia, we have arrived. Sir Zero, let's go, I will show you the mansion, Amelia said as Subaru got down the carriage under Ram's unkind eyes. I will inform the Lord Rosewall of your and the guest's arrival, Ram said. Subaru looked at the mansion a bit surprised. Truly the world of rich is different. A middle-class person like me can never hope to compare with them. But then again, I have been transmigrated and summoned into a fantasy world. I can take advantage of my scientific knowledge and get rich in this world, he thought as Amelia showed her the way. Sir Zero, here is the guest room. You can rest here till the breakfast is ready, Amelia said. Okay, but first thing, stop calling me sir, it makes me feel older. Just call me Zero, he said, and she nodded with an excited expression. Finally, I have made friend. Her last doubts vanished. While Amelia left the place, Subaru finally got the time to relax. Finally, it has been too intense. He thought. He didn't even have the time to come terms with his transmigration. Undoubtedly Natsuki part of him helped in staying calm when he just got here. I will never be able to see my brother and father again. He let the thought sink in, and grief took over him. I was so scared, it was so painful. Dying again, and again, he muttered as tears poured down from his eyes. After a few minutes of emotional chaos, he finally came to terms. I can't do anything now that I am here, other than to move one. I even don't know how I got here as Natsuki Subaru nonetheless, he thought. Now, let's see, I have RBD as Natsuki Subaru, another ability that I got probably due to being Ayan Ghosh, he thought. I have gotten stronger with each death. My strength, endurance, agility, senses, thinking speed, everything has increased, but by what amount? He questioned himself. He knew that his current body's strength was 60 kgs, and from his otaku knowledge OGs had reached 80 kgs after a lot of training. But his current strength, he doesn't know. However, if he is to know it, then he can probably measure it by measuring his current strength and comparing it with the number of times he had died. Yes, my speed has increased the most. Or rather is most noticeable. I should first see how fast I am, he thought, and decided to go to the mansion's garden. He came out of the room and started finding the way to the stairs from where he had come from. Suddenly he met someone, the psycho blue-haired Oni Rem. It seems you are the guest that Sister Ram has talked about, Rem said as she narrowed her eyes. She could smell the witch's scent from him, and it was extremely strong, unlike anything she had smelled from the witch's cult before. Her eyes narrowed as she stared at him. Lord Rosewall has invited you to the breakfast. I will show you the way, respected guest, she said, her tone measured. I see, then please show the way, miss. He paused, obviously hinting her to introduce herself. My name is Rem, the maid of Lord Rosewall and caretaker of Mather's mansion, she introduced herself. She then showed him the way to the dining room. Once he entered it, he was greeted by the sight of Amelia and Rosewall sitting on the chairs, while lavishing dishes were presented on the table. Good morning, dear guest. I hope you had a wonderful time. Rosewall said. Subaru took a seat and said, You must, Sir Rosewall, right? I have heard a lot about you. Good things, SS, I presume? He asked with a glint in his eyes. Subaru smirked and replied, Definitely. Zero, how about we start eating? I am quite hungry, Amelia asked, and Zero nodded. Soon they had finished the food, and Subaru burped satisfied. Now, you helped Amelia find her insignia and saved hair from the Bowel Hunter RR. Sue, I have decided to reward you. Ask for anything, he said. Looking at the clown, not knowing what he is cooking in his mind, Subaru smirked and asked, Anything? Rosewall nodded and said, Anything. Very well. First thing, I would like to make myself clear. I found her insignia and saved her from the Bowel Hunter, so I would like 2 favors, one big and one small, he said under the glare of Ram, who muttered, Shameless. However, due to his enhanced hearing, he easily heard her and his eyebrows twitched as he glanced her. Very well, state them, Rosewall replied, not least bothered by it. First, I would like to get money, lots of it actually, he stated bluntly, and Rosewall nodded. No problem, he said. Secondly, I would like to someone teach me how to read, write the language of Lugunica, and about the history of the world, he said. Rosewall glanced at Ram and nodded and replied, Very well, it shall be, Donnie. I hope you don't mind me staying guest for a few months until I can get on my foot. He asked Rosewall, who replied, I don't mind, however you said you have only YY to request SSS. Rosewall, I don't think having Zero for a few months as a guest would be any problem. Amelia said. If that's what you want, then let it be, Sue, he said. Now last thing, and no, it's not a request but rather something about me, Subaru said, garnering their attention. I may reek of witch's miasma, and it's because I am cursed by the witch, he said, shocking Ram, and Amelia. While Rosewall's eyes got a glint. Cursed, you say? Puck came out and said, Cursed by the witch, you say? How interesting, he is speaking the truth, Leah. Subaru breathed in relief, realizing Puck identified his words as truth. Yeah, if it's not a curse, then what is it? If he had said this when he had just transmigrated, then his words would have been a lie, as he considers return by death an enviable ability. However, after dying multiple times, he considers the ability a curse. Rather, he considers his second ability a true blessing. I cannot speak of what is the curse. If I was to speak about it, either I or the listener will die, he revealed, and silence permeated the room. You are cursed by the witch? Asked Rem with doubt, however Puck confirmed it with narrowed eyes. He is not lying, Leah. I can assure you that is a great spirit, said Puck. Well, I can just tell that the curse is equivalent to experiencing death, dying again and again and again, he revealed with a slight pale face as he recalled his deaths and shivered. Amelia grabbed his palm with her hands and rubbed them to comfort him. Experiencing dying again and again. What a vicious curse, Amelia said with a worried look on her face as she stared at Zero. Don't worry, Zero. If you need help with anything, I am here, Amelia further stated, holding his hand. So Puuk, Rosewall looked at the spirit. Yup, it's true as well. In fact, everything he had said is true, Puck replied. How can we be sure that he isn't a filthy witch cultist? Rem suddenly yelled while glaring at Subaru. Rem, reprimanded Ram as she kicked at her foot. I apologize for my outburst, Rem quickly rectified herself and bowed towards her lord and Subaru hiding her glare. Are you then calling me a liar, maid? Asked Puck with a glare, and Rem shrunk. I can guarantee that everything he had spoken is nothing but true, Puck spat, and Amelia nodded. Indeed, Rem. Ram, don't you two dare treat Zero like a witch cultist. He is cursed by the filthy witch, and we should support him, instead of suspecting him, Amelia said. Rosewall nodded. Indeed, I trust Puck and his wardess. So Ram, treat Lord Zero as you would treat me. Hearing her words, Ram became surprised, and so did Rem. They bowed in unison and replied together, yes. Master. As for whether they will uphold their promise, only time will tell. To be continued. I have made another Campione FIC, and it has 10k words. So tell me if I should upload it here. It is basically Subaru becoming Campione before the fight with White Whale. It is OG Subaru and no system, by the way. Harem, of course, however its updates will be super slow if I upload it here, since I prefer this Subaru over the original. 25 comments, 0 vote. 10 magic affinities bonus chap. ... Third POV. Subaru together with Amelia reached the garden, ready to test his abilities. Hey Amelia, it will be fine if I test my physical abilities? He asked, and Amelia smiled. There is no problem, Zero, though I guess Ram will complain, she chuckled. She will surely do, he added, and they both laughed. Puck meanwhile thought, didn't he have just met Ram? Must be because of his earlier conversation with her. Anyway, let's see how fast I can run around the garden, Subaru said and got ready, then he dashed. Ground cracked slightly as his body became a blur, accelerating to an impressive speed as he circled around the entire garden of Mather's mansion in a few seconds. Whoa, your running speed is impressive, only the top elite knights have such speed, Puck commented, as Subaru was essentially running at 1/3 speed of sound. Satisfied with his test, he asked Amelia, how long it is from her to the entire circumference of the outer portion of the garden. Well, it is around 1670 Valian or roughly 1500 Shaku, she said. He didn't recognize the first measuring unit, however latter. He totally recognized it. It was Japanese unit for measuring length, thankfully due to his memories of Subaru he knows how much long it was. So roughly 450 meters, and I crossed that like what? In 5 to 6 seconds. Damn, I am faster than a bullet train. He thought, shocked. He then tested his punching speed, and with each punch he created a small gust of wind, showing how strong and fast his attacks were. Thankfully my senses, thinking speed, reaction, body balance, and maybe even my flexibility has increased, otherwise even if I had such speed, it would have been useless, he thought. His biggest improvement was speed, or so he is thinking. What if my base abilities are multiplied by a certain amount each time I die? My vision is extremely good now. I can even see on faraway places and read what is written there. Amelia, is there any way that you can measure my speed? Or strength? In units? He asked Amelia, who shook her head. No, I don't have any such methods. How about you, Puck? Do you have any idea? She asked her furry father, who spread his hands and said, I am pretty sure we will need Meteor to measure your strength and speed. I see, so no help here, huh? He sighed in defeat. Anyway, Amelia and Puck, can you two help me learn magic? He asked them, and Amelia nodded. There is no problem, I guess. If Leah is okay with it, then as her father, I support her. Anyway, let's first check what magic affinity you have. Puck said and touched Subaru's head with his tail, and the area being touched glowed for a moment. Alright, I know your affinities, Puck said with a nod. What might be my affinities? Original Subaru just had a single affinity of Y, and he thought and looked at Puck with nervousness and anticipation on his face. You have shadow and earth magic affinities, not to mention, I sense absurdly high spiritual affinity from you. Your gait and the amount of mana you possess is above average as well, decent if we go by the humans' terms, he said, surprising Subaru. I have shadow magic affinity as Subaru and earth due to my second identity. He also noticed how Puck commented he had extremely high spiritual affinity. You said I have high spirit affinity? He asked, curious, though he already knew Subaru had high affinity for spirits. Not just high, I mean absurdly high. Here I thought Leah's spirit affinity was the best, Puck replied. Okay, now that we know my spirit affinities, can you start with the magic lesson, sensei? He asked Puck, who nodded. Sure, do you want to learn shadow or earth magic first? Shadow magic. He didn't even hesitate. Shadow or yin magic increased his survival chances exponentially. Then Puck continued with his lesson on magic. Apparently each type of magic has a prefix and suffix. Suffix of the magic was different for each attribute of magic, and prefix decided the power of the magic casted, which were L, Ul, and Al, in ascending order. The suffix for shadow or yin magic was shamik, and for earth magic it was dona. Magicians used their gate to use up their stored mana to release magic, while spirit arts user used spirits as a pseudo-gate and mana from their surroundings to use magic, however it had a very strict requirement which was spirit affinity. After learning everything, Subaru realized, does the amount of mana I possess, strength of my gate and spirit affinity too increases with each death? If that's the case, it is too broken. He didn't know he had hit the mark, unknown to him everything about him if beneficial to him, doubled with each death. It must be the case, otherwise original Subaru's gate was weak as hell and the amount of mana he possessed wasn't great as well, he thought. Then finally he got ready to test his magic, beginning with Shamik. He imagined the flow of mana and muttered, Shamik. A dark cloud manifested from his hands spreading around, he controlled to not use excess mana and succeeded creating a fog that only covered him. Damn, I can't literally see, hear or smell. Even my sense of balance has been messed up. He thought, surprised by the potency of the spell. Very good, now try to dissolve the magic, Puck said, and Subaru followed his words. Soon the black fog had dissipated. We should try Dona somewhere else, preferably not in the garden, else Ram and Rem will be angry, Puck said, and Subaru nodded. He didn't need to give those sociopathic maids any reason for disliking him. If they dislike him despite his honesty, then it's their fault, not his. After thanking Amelia and Puck, he returned to the mansion, wanting to finally meet up with Betty, the lowly great spirit. Let's see which door it would be, he muttered, and after a moment he opened a door. Luckily enough, he found the forbidden library with Betty sitting on the chair. How rude to enter someone's library without permission, I suppose. Beatrice looked at him with a cold look. What is this place? I am pretty sure there isn't supposed to be a library here, he asked her. It is forbidden library and its location isn't fixed as it keeps shifting throughout the mansion, she explained. I see, can I come in? He asked, and she frowned. It's rude to disturb someone when they are reading. I guess, I will take my leave. Sorry for intruding then, he said, leaving the room. I guess that went better than what I had expected, he thought. He wanted to help Beatrice as he could empathize with her. Both Subaru and Ayan were loners, and Subaru had it worse with all the depression stuff. I will see how it goes. For now let's focus on the current threats, he decided. The current thing he needed to deal was with Rem and Ram. He didn't know what butterfly effects there might be as well. He sighed and decided to visit Ram to get her tutor him. To be continued. Guys, there is a guy who for some reason is after me, and wants to prove I am wrong. It is in the review section of the Demon God in Marvel. Ironically, he is the same guy, who gives his character breasts and a dick, with an overpowered system. He is ranting on how much I have nerfed my Marvel characters. I have given my points, but if you all are blind to see it, then there is not much I can do. In simple words, he is infringing my rights as an author.